Hi everyone. So in this video, we are going to see the do's and don'ts of the rendered callback. Okay. So up to previous video, we have learned the sequence of execution of the various lifecycle hooks, right? So in this video, we're going to discuss in detail about the rendered callback. So I told you in the previous video that rendered callback will actually sometimes lead to some performance issues, kind of the slowing down your component, right? So we are going to understand this with some examples, okay, in the VS Code. Okay. So let us first go to the VS Code. So I told you in the previous video that rendered callback will be invoked many times, okay, based on the value of the property gets changed, right? Whenever the value of a property, that is a public property, whenever it is getting changed, automatically this rendered callback will be re-rendered, or whenever the template is re-rendered, this rendered callback will be invoked many times, okay? This we are going to see this with the proof now. Okay, so let us go to the VS Code now. So what am I going to do is I'm going to have a lightning button in my template, in my parent template. Okay, so I'm going to have a lightning input in my parent template. In this particular lightning input, I'm going to have an on change event. Okay, so whenever the user is typing something inside this text box, I'm going to check whether the rendered callback is invoked many times or not. Okay, let us copy this and go to the parent JS. So I'm doing this inside the parent. You can just make a note of it also. Okay, I'm doing this inside the parent. Okay, so I have a input box now. I'm going to have a listener here. I'm going to have a listener. So let us have here like this. Okay, so I'm going to have a public property, a local property here. Say, for example, its name is value. Okay, so whenever the user is typing something into this particular text box, what am I going to do is I'm going to fetch that value. Okay, so I'm going to fetch that value inside my local property. Okay, this dot value. Okay, now I'm going to use this value inside my parent template. Okay, so I hope you are able to follow, right? I'm going to use it as a binded value here. Okay, now it is already ready here. Okay, what we have done now, we have actually got a input box. Okay, we have got a input box here. Whenever the user is typing something, I'm going to fetch that event into the event handler is listening here, and I'm actually fetching it inside a value. Okay, so what is the thing we have learned in the previous video is whenever the property value changes, and if it is directly used in the component template, the rendered callback will be invoked many times. That's what we have learned in the previous video, right? So we are going to test this now. Okay, so let us go back to the org now, and let us just clear the console and refresh this page. Okay, now you should get an input box here. Okay, so let us see whether I have deployed. I haven't deployed it, right? I will deploy it first. So let us deploy the component. Let us go to the org and let us clear the console and let's refresh the page. Okay. Now we should be able to see a input box here. Okay. So there is an input box in my parent component. Okay. So we can see here already the lifecycle hook started executing. Okay. A parent a constructor and connected callback in the parent is actually executed, and the child's constructor and connected callback and rendered callback is already done, and the parent's rendered callback is already done. Okay. Now what we are going to test is we are going to check whether the parent's rendered callback is going to get invoked many times based on the user input. Okay, that is what we have learned in the previous video also, right? Say for example, I'm going to type AJ skill. Okay, you can see here. Okay, I will just clear the console. Okay, you can see here how many times it's getting invoked. Okay, 7 times. Okay, just clear the console. I'll just type. Okay, so whatever I'm going to type here, so number of times I'm typing here, whenever I'm typing the input, the value of the property is getting changed. Whenever the value of the property is getting changed, my rendered callback is being invoked many times. Okay, so from this we can come to a conclusion that rendered callback will be invoked many times based on the changes to the value, right? That's what we have seen as an example also. Now, how to stop this? Okay, if you want to stop, how to do that? Okay, we can actually use the good old method which we have learned in our previous programming, right? Say, for example, you can have a Boolean property here. Okay, you can have a Boolean property has rendered. Okay, has rendered equal to initially it can be true. Okay, only if it is true, initially it will be executed. Okay, so the rendered callback, we can actually use this for many purposes. Okay, in real-time use cases, we will not be just printing something like this in the console. Okay, we will be using this to initialize some values, or if you want to talk to your template. So if you want to target your template, because now the template is rendered, right? So you can actually do some kind of template targeting code also you can write inside this. Okay, so we can actually just stop the execution by having a Boolean value here. So I'm having has rendered as true first. So I'm going to use this here. Okay, so we are going to put, sorry. So initially it is true, right? So once it comes inside this block, I'm going to do some business logic. So for demo purpose, I'm having only a console.log. Okay. In real time, you can actually put your logic here. Okay. So likewise, and then you can just make this dot. So I have to put here this dot, right? This dot. And this dot has rendered, sorry, let me copy this. Okay. So equal to, I'm making it as false. So initially when the component is actually rendered, this has entered will be true. So it actually renders once, okay, it will be rendering the concept or logic, whatever you're having inside this block will be executed only once, okay. So after that, this becomes false, right? So it will be not executing again. Okay, so in this way, we can actually achieve our business logic also by using the pre-established callback hooks, and also we can actually stop the execution from actually writing something like that. Okay, so let us check whether it is not rendering again and again. Okay, let us just save this and let us just deploy this particular component. Okay, I hope it is clear, right? Okay, so let us go back to the org and let us clear the console and let us refresh this page. Okay, now let us type something. Let us see what happens now. Okay, so let us just clear the console also. Okay, fine. You can see here, it is not rendering again. You can see here, it is not rendering again. Okay. So previously when we had the has rendered, we didn't have the Boolean value, right? Before we had a Boolean value, it was executing many times. Now, because we have a Boolean value, we avoided the recursiveness. So repeatedly that method is not getting invoked. Okay, even though the value of the property is getting changed, because of that Boolean value, this particular method is not invoked many times. Even if you type many times, you will not be able to see any changes here. Okay, you will not be able to see. Okay, so that is the thing. You can actually avoid the repeatedly invoking this rendered callback by the help of the Boolean value. Okay, so this is one thing. And the other thing is, I told you, right, before the rendered callback, the template will be rendered, right? So because template is rendered now, template is available for us, right? So we can actually talk to the template. Okay, say for example, I want to insert some text into this. Okay, say for example, or else if I want to see the text, what is there inside this. So let us have a LWC colon ref. Okay, say it as p tag. Okay, so let us say here I'm having an hello. Okay, let us just cut this and paste it outside. Okay, so let us have a simple hello here. Okay, so I'm going to get this text. Okay, inside my, I'm going to try to check whether I'm able to target my template tags. Okay, what we are going to check? We are going to check whether the rendered callback from inside the rendered callback, whether I'll be able to target my template tags. Okay, so let us check that. So I'm having a LWC colon ref and I have given a unique name to it. Copy this, come to your parent JS, and in this rendered callback, I'm going to come here. So I'm going to have the console.log here. Okay, console.log. So I'm going to have this dot refs. Okay, we have learned this one, right? How to access the template tags. Okay, so we can just paste the tag name and we can have the inner HTML. Okay, so inner text we can have. Okay, so in this way, you'll be able to targeting the, we are actually targeting the template tags. Okay, we can do this also. Okay, so let us save and see whether I'm able to see the hello in my template. Okay, so I'm having a hello here, right? So I'm actually going to see whether the hello is being printed in my console or not. Okay, so let us just deploy this and let us go to the org now. Okay, so we are actually learning what are all the possible things you can actually do inside the rendered callback. Okay, let us just refresh this page. Fine, you can see here I'm able to fetch the data, right, from the template. Okay, so I'm able to target my template. Okay, you can also test this like this also. Let us go to the org VS Code now. So we understood that from inside the rendered callback, I'm able to target my template, right? This is understood. Now let us test like this. Let us copy this and go to the connected callback. And let us also paste it inside the constructor. Okay, so in this particular phase of the life cycle of a component, the component is not yet fully done, right? So the template is not yet rendered. So we are going to prove that one also. Okay, we are going to see whether we are able to target our template elements. Okay, so it is in, I'm having one inside the constructor, one inside the connected callback. Okay, so we are going to comment this. Okay, rendered callback. Let us comment this. Okay, let us see what is it printing on the screen. Okay, let us save this and let us just deploy this. We are going to see whether it is able to bring the value of my template. Okay, so we know that it cannot bring, but we are going to check. Okay, let us refresh this page. Okay, you can see the error here, right? So cannot read properties of undefined. Okay, the p tag is not it. Actually, it means that it is undefined, means no such properties existing now, right? So it actually comes to we can come to a conclusion that at this point, that is in the constructor and the connected callback, we don't have the template yet, right? We haven't, the template is not yet rendered. Okay, in the rendered callback, you'll be able to target your templates. Okay, that is what the point we have proved here. Okay, so this is done. So I hope it is clear, right? So we have learned many new concepts, right? Let us go back to the slides now. So here we are going to see the do's and don'ts. So in do's, I told you, right, we can actually interact with the components UI. Okay, so example like adding event listeners, we haven't done like adding event listeners, but we targeted our template tags. Okay, we were able to bring the hello on our screen by putting a template tag inside the rendered callback. And don'ts is, don't ever update any wire property configuration. What is this wire adapter is, we are going to discuss soon in our LWC concept. Okay, it is one of the LWC concept we are going to learn soon. But as of now, you can actually keep it in your mind that the rendered callback cannot have the wire adapters. Okay, it will lead to some performance issues. Okay, and don't update a public property. Okay, why we have learned that, right? Because the rendered callback will get executed many times. So it will lead to an infinite loop. Okay, and it can also slow down your performance of your component also. Okay, so we have seen this as an example also. So these are the do's and don'ts of the rendered callback. Okay, basically, if you want to have some logic inside your rendered callback after the component is rendered, you can do this inside the rendered callback. Okay, so for these purposes, don't use for updating a public property or updating a wire adapters. Okay, and do's, you can actually target your components UI. Okay, this is the one thing we can actually do. And this is the concept of rendered callback. Okay, so I hope this concept is clear, right? So let us meet in the next video. Okay, thank you.